All right, let's get into round two. My name's Greg, and you're watching How to Play Paintball. So make sure that you are looking at the description down below. There's a link that you can click on that you can join an email list. So whether it be you're brand new, there's a free ebook for you there. And then there's also going to be tips that get sent out and any updates, things like that. So be sure to join the email list so that way you're most up to date with everything. There's also the link for the online coaching. So if you are curious about that, whether it be monthly or you just want to try it for a month, totally up to you. But let's get back into the video. So I wanted to go through, answer some more questions from last time. Thank you again, everyone, for sending all of these in. Hopefully you enjoyed the other video, and let's just jump right into this one. So Jacob actually was one that we had answered a question from last time, and Jacob asks, what are the best targets for practice do you purchase, and if so, from where, or do you make them? So when I had a local field here, I would make my own, and there's kind of pros and cons for all of them. So I would get like the paint lids, like the bigger paint lids, so you can get them in different sizes. The issue is that the plastic is not gonna survive for forever. But it's cheaper. So you kind of have to weigh that out. Now I get like a fence post. Downside with that is you have to step on it to like push it into the ground. At Legacy Sports here in Florida, as well as at Tiki's Paintball here in Florida, they both have practice field like targets that you can use. And I think Tiki, actually I think both of them have it where they're just wooden, and then they have these metal pieces that are cut out. So there's a handle on the side. It's also kind of like a foot X pattern, so that way you can just kind of move it around. You don't have to put it into the ground. And something like that is going to be great. Whatever the target is, you want to make sure that it's something that you can hear. You also don't want it to be, you know, super big, but you also don't want it to be like super tiny, because if it's really small, then it's going to be very hard to get the drill, you know, going. Obviously, the smaller the target, the better you're going to be. You're going to really push yourself, but just understand that, you know, kind of something in between. Whenever I was doing laning or like running and gunning, something a little bit larger, depending on even paint that you're using or how much you want to challenge yourself that day, is something. Snap shooting, you know, same thing. You can just kind of use whatever. I actually, before the other field that was local to me closed down, I started making another one where we had some old pots and pans. So sometimes you can go to like Goodwill and just get one of those, and it already has, you know, like the handle. So you just make a little target and it's going to be able to get shot a whole bunch of times and survive. But big thing is make sure that it's something that is going to be okay in the rain, just in case, you know, someone leaves it out overnight, and just kind of see your budget. So if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, you can kind of see what is it that we have, or, oh, I have this old, you know, these old metal sheets or whatever, maybe I can cut those. So next up we have Puncture Horn Airsoft 2583. What's the best way to refill tanks at your field? Hand pump, compressor? So I would definitely recommend going to your local field. Sometimes local stores will also have ways that you can fill your tank. If you have your own compressor, then cool, but just make sure that you're following the safety procedures that you should. So don't over pressurize it. Don't you know, make it where you don't want to have any oil going into it. So sometimes you need to have like filters and all that. That's why I'm just going to go to the field, because they're going to make sure that it's as clean air as possible. So next up we have some dork. Your entire paintball story up to this point. Well, that is a long story. I'm going to kind of condense it. So I started playing with my church. My dad kind of forced me to go. I was scared to go at first. I don't know what it was that caught me, but something caught me with this sport. I can't explain it. You guys can probably relate to that. And then, so I was playing with my church, you know, every so often, and we would go out in the woods and go play. And then at some point, I don't know when it was that we were introduced to it, but then World Cup used to be at Wide World of Sports in Orlando. So we went and saw that, and I think I was starting to watch videos. And from there, you know, got onto my first team, tried to just continue progressing, played in college, saw that if I wanted to do something, I'm going to need to move. So when I moved from South Florida to Tampa, I was able to get onto a semi-pro team there. The idea being trying to get in front of damage more often, and just continued working and just kind of drilling and, you know, working out and all of that stuff. And then the opportunity arose at the ML Kings, and I was able to take that. Another opportunity arose with Latin Saints, so I ended up taking that as well. That was later on, a couple years past, but yeah, so that's kind of a very condensed version. Maybe another time, if you guys want, you can put it in the comments down below. I can go a lot more in depth. All right, next up is Old Guy Paintball, and Old Guy asks, how did you get your channel to grow so well? I know it's competitive out here, but getting some of us into this video game has been tough. Yeah, I was actually just talking to someone about this. It's one of those things that I would say consistency, finding what is it that people like to watch. To be honest, there's times that I'll put a whole bunch of effort into a video and then it doesn't really get any views. And then there's other times that I don't, be honest, there's times it's kind of quickly thrown together and then that one gets a bunch of views. So it's kind of just seeing, you know, what is it that people like, what don't they like. You don't want to waste time on stuff, but just putting out content and being consistent is really important. If you can sort of partner and do like a little collab with another channel. PB Nation, if you guys know, my older paintball players know this, PB Nation used to have a channel as well. They might still. And I was able to get in contact with the guy that ran it, and him and I just built a relationship, and he put up one of my videos, and that was something that it was kind of like, okay, if you want to watch more, you can go over to How to Play Paintball. So I think just consistency, trying stuff out, and don't worry so much about the views and all that. Just look and see what is it that people like, what don't they like, but have fun with it. You want to make sure that you're not going to be bogged down, but consistency is definitely important. So sometimes I'll admit there are times where it's like, oh, I don't really want to film something, or what am I even going to film? And yeah, you'll find out real quick what is it that people like and what is it that they don't like. Okay, next up we have Violence God 61. So what was your biggest challenge to overcome when it came to turning pro? And what was that last skill / thing that put you over that edge? Would also like to know what your gym workouts look like. Well, I can answer, oh, and that's really awesome you're in Canada. A buddy of mine I used to work with, old friend of mine, actually just went pro because the Royal City Sea Dogs are now playing pro. So the gym stuff I can answer right away. Go over to Off the Leash. So Off the Leash, I think it's just at Off the Leash. It might be Off the Leash Lifestyle on Instagram. So Patty Gleason, he used to play with Ironman, used to play with Thunder, used to play with NYX, has put together an amazing program. It really helps me because it's all on my phone. There's videos. It tells me exactly how many reps, sets, all of that stuff. And it's all paintball related workouts. So it's all things that are going to help you out. So that's what is definitely super helpful. So thank you, Patty, for that. So the biggest challenge would probably be, I don't know if it would just be not giving up. I know that it can be difficult. It's definitely not something easy. And that last skill or thing that put me over the edge, once I got into pro, I know like how tight to play the bunkers and things like that, kind of learning. It's hard to say. I mean, communication is definitely something, understanding, you know, aggression and all of that. But it's always a learning thing. So no matter what, you're always going to be progressing. And I think it's just having that kind of a mindset. We talked about that previously. I would say it probably even goes to that. I hope I'm answering your question. I don't know what the last skill or thing would be that kind of put me over the edge. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I guess just practice. That's really what it comes down to. All right, next up we have, is it Phase Art 805? I'm 33. Is it too late for me? I used to play a little when I was younger, but I really want to make a run at playing at a high level. Thoughts, opinions, advice? No, it's not too late. There are guys that are in their 40s or 50s that have played pro. So it's not too late. I think you have to be honest with yourself about what can you do. Maybe you're in a good physical shape that you could play the snake, but if you can't, don't be trying to really go after being, oh, I want to be the front snake player. Well, no, maybe you need to be more of like a 2 or a 3 just because of where you're at. I don't know where your fitness level is at, but like Shane Howe that played with Sacramento DMG and played with Seattle Uprising. I think he's still with Uprising. I think he's like 40 something, still plays the front snake. So age can kind of just be a number, so just making sure that you take care of yourself. If you want to be making a run at a higher level, I kind of think actually when you're a little bit older, there's something about like your brain being fully developed and all that that helps, and being able to look at it like chess. What is it that I need to do? How do I need to adjust? Because there's guys that are older that are still very good in the pro division that aren't fast, but they make adjustments quickly to be able to do what they need to make sure that they're effective on the field. So I would say my biggest thing of advice would be okay with mistakes. Don't worry about some younger kid shooting you or whatever. Don't let pride get in the way, but always be looking for how to improve. All right, everyone, that is the video. Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you are looking at the description down below for all that great stuff. There's also some cool deals down there, so just check all that stuff out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Before we sign off, if there is a type of video that you would like for me to do, whether that be a certain type of drill or, hey, I need help with this particular part of my game, put that down in the comments down below also. This way, yeah, I want to put stuff out that you guys enjoy. So make sure that you're doing that. I will see you all in the next one. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.